Thank you so much for being here today for this update on the progress of our Lincoln on the Move street improvement program. Many folks are here to join with me today, including Liz Elliott, the director of our Lincoln Transportation and Utilities Department, Jason Ball with the Lincoln Chamber of Commerce, Kyle Fisher with the Realtors Association of Lincoln, Bud Seinhorst with the Lincoln Independent Business Association, or LIBA, and Amy Eidenmiller and Jeannie McClure with the City of Lincoln's Advisory Committee on Transportation. I also want to acknowledge that we have former City Council member Richard McGinnis joining us today as well. Investing in our streets across our city and within our neighborhoods is one of our communities and my administration's top priorities. Streets are essential to growing economic opportunity, to enhancing public safety, and supporting our high quality of life here in Lincoln. And that's why we have invested as a community a historic $211 million in our streets over the past 4 years. In 2019, Lincoln residents affirmed the value they place on our streets when they voted to support a quarter-cent sales tax to fund additional street investments over the course of a 6-year period. And these investments are what we call our Lincoln on the Move initiative. And these enhancements are made to both existing streets as well as to new road construction. And since its inception, the Lincoln on the Move initiative has added nearly $60 million in additional funds to our city's overall street program, resulting in the completion of 47 additional street improvements and new construction projects that support our city's growth. This incredible outcome has been made possible thanks to the decision voters made 4 years ago to add the quarter-cent sales tax funding. And we're here this morning to share the latest update on progress that we've made together through Lincoln on the Move. Progress illustrated in the 2023 Lincoln on the Move annual report that we're releasing today. Lincoln on the Move contributed $17.8 million of the more than $44 million we are investing in our streets this fiscal year. In other words, Lincoln on the Move funds have created significantly more investment in street projects across our city, representing nearly 40% of this year's street investments. 7 of the 16 total street projects that our team at LTU delivered this year were made possible by Lincoln on the Move. And this includes 5 projects that made improvements to existing streets, as well as 2 others that constructed new streets to serve fast-growing areas of our city. This significant boost to our street work enables us to connect more of our community members to their homes, their schools, and their businesses. It contributes to our thriving local economy, and it enhances the safety of our transportation system. In short, Lincoln on the Move is accelerating the progress of our community. And that progress would not be possible without the additional funding from the voter-approved quarter-cent sales tax and the dedication and hard work of our entire Lincoln and Transportation Utilities team. And here to take us through a tour of the 2023 edition of the Lincoln on the Move annual report is LTU's director, Liz Elliott. Liz?
Thank you, Mayor. Every day, our team chooses to go above and beyond for our community. We look for ways to celebrate our successes and provide even more value that exceeds expectations. The Lincoln on the Move Street Investments accomplishes just that. The city began receiving revenue from the quarter-cent sales tax in December 2019. As we wrap up year 4 of the 6-year street program, the community's investment continues to add value to our infrastructure system and is instrumental in improving Lincoln's streets at a faster rate than traditional funding sources can provide. In fact, we anticipate that Lincoln on the Move will have generated a grand total of $96 million by the time the tax expires in September of 2025. This big boost in funds for streets is delivering big results. Just last year, Lincoln ranked 6th best city to drive out of 100 cities. Let's take a look at how the quarter-cent sales tax that funds Lincoln on the Move is delivering an even safer, stronger, and more economically vibrant community. This year alone, Lincoln on the Move helped fund more than 23 lane miles of street progress. This is an amazing accomplishment made possible by the ongoing support of our fellow community members and visitors who invest their sales tax dollars into our city by shopping at our local businesses, enjoying our fabulous hotels, eating at our delicious restaurants, and more. In fact, Lincoln visitors contribute an estimated 30% of all Lincoln on the Move funding. Your investments result in lasting street improvements to our neighborhoods. This project in the Piedmont neighborhood between 48th and 56th Streets, just south of O Street, enhanced portions of 6 streets along the Leffler Middle School area. The completed project offers smooth and safe rides on streets like 52nd Street, 50th Street, Fall Creek Road, Valley Road, and Lenox Avenue for parents, students, and many others who enjoy biking and shopping nearby. No matter where you travel, Lincoln on the Move funds are dedicated to meeting your transportation needs. This includes efforts to improve important thoroughfares that connect neighbors to nearby schools, workplaces, and entertainment. 84th Street is an important arterial that received improvements this year touching both North and South Lincoln from Sandalwood to Elizabeth Drive. This $4 million project included repairs to the base of the road, along with construction of a new smooth surface. This long-term improvement would not have been financially feasible in the last 4 years without Lincoln on the Move quarter-cent sales tax funded both by Lincoln visitors and Lincoln residents. 2 other Lincoln on the Move projects helped deliver key improvements to North and South Lincoln. Both of these projects, one on South 48th Street from Old Cheney to Nebraska Parkway, and the other on North 48th Street from Layton Avenue to Superior Street, bring important infrastructure to the businesses and residents who live near these arterial streets. New infrastructure encourages additional economic investment in neighborhoods and improves the quality of life for the neighbors. Another large Lincoln on the Move project that went from patched to perfect in record time is South 27th Street from Coronado to Old Cheney Road. This project delivered a new smooth surface on the street, along with other pavement and curb repairs. So whether you're heading to South Point Mall, commuting to and from work in downtown Lincoln, or returning home from a Husker football game, thousands of drivers benefit from this new stretch of street every single day. In addition to improving existing streets, Lincoln on the Move invests in new street construction that supports our community's growth. These new construction projects create new, non-residential streets that promote private sector investment. Examples include South Folsom Street project. By investing in South Folsom Street, we helped facilitate the Foxtel Meadows housing development, which includes 166 new affordable housing units for our community. Another priority as we continue to grow Lincoln. We encourage residents to check out this street project that just wrapped up and opened to traffic 2 weeks ago. Another new construction street project includes 40th Street from Rokeby Road to Tiger Lily. This project, essential to help serve growth in this area, installed new pavement and a raised center median, along with a roundabout to help residents ease in and out of their neighborhoods effectively. These investments are bolstering our local economy, neighborhoods, and public safety. The street projects are also reviewed by the Advisory Committee on Transportation, or ACT, a public committee appointed by the mayor to provide oversight and guidance on the use of Lincoln on the Move street funds. The 6-year investment in Lincoln streets through Lincoln on the Move has made great progress in the first 4 years. In year 1 of the program, the city invested more than $10 million into Lincoln streets and completed 7 projects. In year 2, the program invested more than $15 million and delivered 18 projects. Year 3, the program invested $16.8 million and invested in 15 street projects. And in year 4, as the mayor mentioned, Lincoln on the Move invested an additional $17.8 million into 7 large projects that elevate Lincoln streets. Voters approved dedicating 73.5% of Lincoln on the Move quarter-cent sales tax to existing street improvement projects, with the remaining 25% going toward new street construction in the growing parts of our community, and 1.5% to LTU and the Railroad Transportation Safety District partnership that works to enhance the North 33rd and Cornhusker Highway Improvement Project. So far, revenue collected is higher than original projections. All additional funds received are invested back into the program and help balance inflation and rising material costs. More streets are planned across Lincoln for 5th and 6th years of the program. The total number of street projects will depend on a combination of the material prices and the revenue that the city receives over the 6-year lifespan of the sales tax. LTU's team members work hard to develop resources that provide transparent and up-to-date information on all of our projects. For a full look at all of the projects the department is working on, go to lincoln.ne.gov/projects. On this project website, you can see a project description, location, funding, timeline, and city contact information. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Director Elliott. And our business community recognizes just how important the connection is between our streets and our local economy. And here to talk more about that vital relationship between commerce and transportation is Lincoln Chamber of Commerce President and CEO, Jason Ball. Jason?
Thank you, Mayor, and good morning, everyone. Infrastructure is a priority for the Chamber, for the Visit Lincoln program, and for the Lincoln Partnership for Economic Development. And more importantly, streets and roadway infrastructure was identified in our Vitality Lincoln strategic plan for economic and community growth this year as a key initiative for our future. The Chamber supported establishment of Lincoln on the Move, and we continue to recognize the important investment that it has enabled. We want Lincoln to be a growing and vibrant city, and I think everyone shares that vision for it here, which is why a city that enhances the economic opportunities and quality of life for all residents, investment in streets and roads is essential to our future as a city. The work enabled now through Lincoln on the Move in effective, safe, and reliable transportation systems will continue to serve Lincoln for decades to come. And to begin, it's just good for business. Accessible streets make it easier for customers to reach businesses. Good road networks facilitate the movement of people and goods, making it convenient for consumers to visit stores, restaurants, and other establishments. Business relies on efficient transportation to move goods, services, and employees. Well-maintained streets ensure smooth and reliable transportation, reducing logistical challenges for businesses and for residents. Infrastructure investment is also essential for Lincoln's growth. New neighborhoods and new access to development allows our housing inventory to grow, enhances our workforce, and limits the upward pressure on housing prices that we've experienced in the previous decade. Investment in roads allows our community to grow and our economy to grow. It also supports tourism. Visitors to Lincoln in particular want to experience safe, well-marked, navigable streets and roads. The tourism and visitor industry are a central economic pillar in Lincoln, and it supports the entire hotel, restaurant, retail, and hospitality sectors in Lincoln. And finally, safety. all community residents benefit from a robust and well-maintained roadway system. Now, such investments sometimes feel inconvenient, and I know nobody loves navigating the orange cones that pop up in the summer. But remember that inconvenience is temporary, and when it's gone, we have a better road, a better neighborhood, and a better city. I want to encourage all residents to visit the Lincoln on the Move website that Director Elliott was talking about a moment ago. There is excellent, transparent information on how and where these important resources have been applied. When we make investments in our city, everyone benefits. We look forward to working with the city to complete this round of Lincoln on the Move and stand ready to look at the future for our investments ahead. Mayor, thank you.
Thank you so much, Jason, and thanks for emphasizing the role of visitors in the improvements that were being made. I think it's so powerful knowing that 30% of these dollars are actually coming from the wallets of people who don't even call Lincoln home, but yet we are benefiting from them. That's a powerful statistic and metric. All right, well, while streets bring customers and businesses together, they also bring neighbors and neighborhoods together. And here to talk more about the importance of streets in supporting the growth of our neighborhoods is Realtors Association of Lincoln Executive Vice President Kyle Fisher. Kyle?
Well, good morning, everyone. Honored to be part of the distinguished group in front of you today. Honored to have the mayor allow me to be part of the Citizens Transportation group as well. It's been very beneficial for myself and for others to get that transparency and openness from the city when it comes to how we approach things like roads and how we approach the use of these sales tax dollars that the community was so kind to put forward and allow us to use. Most times programs and services that are talked about at a city level, whether it's before the city council or whether it's before the mayor's office, they have advocates, and they have advocates who use those programs. Well, concrete and asphalt, things like roads, they can't get up and be advocates in front of the city council, in front of the mayor's office. And so there are groups like the Realtors Association, like the Chambers of Commerce, like others who have to stand up and be advocates for those things. And we're happy to do that. Roads, water, sewer, they're critical for growth, and not just the physical growth that we often talk about in Lincoln, but the economic growth that Jason talked about as well. Housing may be the most pressing issue facing Lincoln and the state of Nebraska as we move forward. A study released earlier this year by the Center for Public Affairs and Research at UNO showed that the challenge of finding a home has surpassed a job as the #1 reason for people leaving the state of Nebraska. Let that sink in for a minute. Our own stats back that up. There were times over the past 18 months where there were fewer than 100 total homes, new or existing, that someone could purchase and move into within the city of Lincoln, across the entire city, fewer than 100 homes. It's quite simple. The new roads that we're talking about today, they lead to new houses, and they help our existing neighborhoods build better neighborhoods. Another glaring statistic as part of that survey, fewer than 1 in 4 houses in Lincoln are less than 20 years old, as in they've been built since the year 2000. Home ownership, as we see it, is the key to a vibrant neighborhood. It's the key to building generational wealth for individuals and families. And quite simply, we need more homes and better neighborhoods so that people can do that. Roads, literally and figuratively, lead to those new homes. And we as the Realtors Association are proud to support the Lincoln on the Move. We're proud to support the sales tax creation as we were when it was enacted. And all we can say is, let's keep it going. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kyle. Next up, I'd like to invite Lincoln Independent Business Association President Bud Seinhorst, who represents 1,000+ LIBA members and local business owners who really understand the significance of streets to our local economy. Bud?
Hi, good morning, and thank you for the invitation to be here today. As Kyle and Jason have expressed, streets and roads are such an important and vital part of our business community. infrastructure has been one of the long-standing priorities that we've shared at LIBA on an ongoing basis. We were involved in the 2019 with the Lincoln on the Move quarter-cent sales tax, and the ability for our community to make those investments, to help our businesses grow, to help their employees find the housing that they're needing that Kyle's talking about, to bring those things together really makes for a better, more vibrant business community in our city. And our local businesses are the backbone of our community. They are the drivers of our community. All of those local businesses make it happen. They're employing our friends and neighbors. They're continuing to invest in our community. And through the Lincoln on the Move, it's been a great investment back to help those businesses for their customers and to get that infrastructure, especially in those new areas that we've seen in our city's growth. So we've been proud to be supportive of Lincoln on the Move. We appreciate the opportunity to be here and talk about this more, and hope that we can continue to make these investments. $60 million, over $60 million in the last 4 years is a nice investment in our roads just from the Lincoln on the Move. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bud. The decision on where to direct these Lincoln on the Move dollars is led by LTU with the guidance and oversight of our Advisory Committee on Transportation, also known as the ACT. And the ACT is a 14-member, all-volunteer body that has dedicated significant time and energy to provide this extra layer of assurance and oversight. And we're really grateful for the service that they are performing for our community. And with us today are ACT co-chairs Jeannie McClure and Amy Eidenmiller, who will share how the ACT works to provide improvements to our streets through Lincoln on the Move. And we'll start with Jeannie. Jeannie, welcome, and thank you again for your service.
Thank you, Mayor. The community expressed its support for the Lincoln on the Move sales tax investment in a vote in 2019. Since then, ACT has provided public oversight, collaboration, and advocacy for these street funds through routine meetings and will continue to do so. In the last 4 years, Lincoln on the Move's program progress has been nothing short of remarkable. We are so proud of the nearly additional 136 lane miles of improved new, smooth streets that our community members get to drive on each day. And the best part of this program is we aren't done yet. As we gaze into the future, our Public Oversight Committee shares a passion to sustain this positive momentum for the final 2 years of the street program and potentially beyond, contingent on the continued support of Lincoln residents. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jeannie. And now I'd like to invite up Jeannie's counterpart, ACT co-chair Amy Eidenmiller, to say a few words about what Lincoln on the Move means to her. Amy, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. I am an avid user of Lincoln's public transit system and a pedestrian. As I ride through the city, I can feel how the streets have been improved. I can also feel the streets that need improving. As a pedestrian, I can say the same. I notice as I cross streets such as 11th Street at Lincoln Mall, how I have to be very careful where I proceed because of the street's conditions. I am happy to announce that 11th Street corridor from South to J will be one of the Lincoln on the Move street projects in this coming spring. I am proud to have been a part of the ACT since its inception, and I am very proud of all the work that we are doing to make improvements to Lincoln's infrastructure. I'm happy to say that we are able to bring improvements to streets, arterial streets, neighborhood streets, and new growth projects for our community members. Thank you for the opportunity to serve.
Thank you for your service, Amy, and that important reminder that the proof is in the pudding when you're on those streets and feeling the effects. For the next 2 fiscal years, we will invest a total of over $98 million in street infrastructure. And of those $98 million, we anticipate Lincoln on the Move potentially contributing an additional $31.7 million into our streets in the last 2 years of the program. And while we are excited about the program's future, today we invite residents to reflect on its progress over the past year. It's all available, as Director Elliott mentioned, on our interactive Lincoln on the Move 2023 annual report at lincoln.ne.gov/streets. And again, I just want to say thank you to our community leaders for supporting this program and investing in our streets, and all those visitors who are paying dollars into it as well. Lincoln on the Move reflects our shared belief that a safe and reliable network of streets is absolutely essential to a thriving community. And at this time, we'd be happy to take any questions from the media.
I have one. Do you plan to ask voters to extend this sales tax once it ends in '25?
We haven't made a final decision on that question about the extension, but I think what we're trying to demonstrate today is the incredible progress and that we've been able to accomplish thanks to Lincoln on the Move. It is a significant percentage of our street investments, and ultimately that decision is up to our residents, but we think that there's a strong case for the incredible public value Lincoln on the Move creates.
If it wouldn't pass, or even if it did, would you consider are you considering using casino revenue for street improvements?
We haven't had that discussion yet at this point, but we will have robust discussions about how to use casino revenue as we head into the next biennial budget.
Also, I think as you do more arterials, you affect more businesses. Mm-hmm. Can you talk a little bit about how you have tried to protect those businesses who obviously are affected by having this street in front of their business closed?
Sure. I'll have Director Elliott come up and answer that question, but what I also want to do is follow up on your first question. Just for context on casino dollars, we're monitoring those closely, as well as the impact on Keno revenue and how that may, create some effects on Keno's availability. Mm-hmm. But just to give an example, if you're getting about $1 million in casino revenue, that might pay for 1 lane mile. What you've seen with Lincoln on the Move is that we're getting about 13 times that in a year. So there really aren't comparable revenue sources. This is a distinctly impactful revenue source for streets because of the scale and size and the fact that so many people from outside our community help fund it. All right, for your next question, Liz, do you mind coming up and talking about what LTU does to plan and prepare to minimize the impact of the street work on local businesses?
I think someone said it earlier. We know there are definitely pains and inconveniences with street construction, and we do appreciate everybody's patience as we work through them because we know it is an inconvenience. And we try our best to get out well in advance of every project and give all of the business owners as well as the residents information about the project. How long is it going to last? What are the street closures planned? We do also have some information on things that we've learned over the years on what might help the business owners. So maybe try marketing this way, or we can put signs up that say open to local businesses and try to direct traffic to the most convenient way or path into these businesses. So for example, with the 11th Street that Amy had mentioned earlier, we've actually had the project manager on that, as well as with our comms, have met individually with business owners to answer their questions, provide them all of the information that we have to try and make it as easy as possible. We know it's going to be hard, and we try to get in and out as quickly as possible, but there is, unfortunately, a disruption. So we try to keep them, if anything changes with the project timeline or information, we do try and keep them updated on those changes and work with them as much as we can to minimize the impact. It's hard for everyone, and we do appreciate their patience, and so many people are supportive. They want to see this because the nice, smooth, beautiful roads do provide a better avenue and path once they're done. And that's, if we can keep focusing on that, it's always a good path forward.
I also wondered real quick, if you said this, I apologize, but what percentage of, so far, of Lincoln on the Move have been used for residential streets as opposed to arterials?
Well, I'm not sure if we have the exact right. So existing streets is the 73.5% are on existing streets, and then 25% are on the new construction, and then we have that 1.5 with the RTSD. But residential versus arterial, I'm not sure if we have that broken down. I can ask Assistant City Engineer Chris Humphrey. Okay, we'll get that to you with that breakdown.
Was there a priority one way or the other? I mean, did you want to do more residential, or was that, or more arterials, or how do you make that
So
decision?
that conversation happened early on after the passing of the quarter-cent sales tax with the ACT group, and really the decision at that point was to focus on residential streets more than arterial streets. That way we were reaching out into every quadrant of the city over this 6-year program and hitting those closest to residents who invested in this. Thank you. Other questions?
Okay, well, thank you again for joining us for this news conference to learn how Lincoln on the Move is enhancing our city's transportation system and helping our residents and community move forward together. There's a lot of positive momentum and agreement on how important this infrastructure is. We're grateful for the opportunity to improve life in Lincoln with it. Thank you.